Hello guys and welcome to a new video. So after the last video I made, the one I spoke about Spotify and my band not being there, a lot of you guys actually asked me to share a lot more info about my death metal band, and I think that's awesome. I was actually going to start sharing some of the material later on in the year, but I figured why not now? This is going to be a monthly installment on Excelsis Tenebrae, my band. On this series, I am actually going to show you some of my favorite riffs, some of the fastest riffs we play, some of the hardest riffs we play, some of the easier riffs that we play, some of the solos, the lyrics, my approach when writing the riffs, and so on. I think it's going to be very interesting, and I think it's actually going to help a lot of the people that are not necessarily into death metal appreciate the genre a little bit more. So I am really excited about that. Okay, but before we get to that, you know the drill. Make sure you hit that like button, drop me a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure you subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. And if you want to become a part of the team, hit that join button down there. Okay, so let me tell you the story of Excelsis Tenebrae. Excelsis Tenebrae was actually born in 2004. It was actually my first band ever. And it started out like a thrashy / black metal band with some death metal in it. And it was actually called Chalice of Mist. Now, we only played a couple of shows with that name, and then we decided that we needed a name that was a little bit more brutal. So my buddy Nick, the other guitar player back then, came up with the name Serpenthorn, and we thought it was kind of cool, so we went with it. Now, I wasn't really completely happy with it, but I felt it better represented the band than Chalice of Mist. And also, because of the fact that at that point, I had written every song and every riff that we played, I didn't want it to feel like a dictatorship, and I actually wanted him to take some responsibility in the band so that I could get some relief. So Serpenthorn was born. We played a lot of shows, and we opened up for a lot of very important death metal bands in the Miami / Fort Lauderdale scene, all the way from 2005 to 2008. And in February 2008, we actually headlined a festival, and it was really good, probably the biggest show we played back then. And that was the night I decided to split up the band. Like a lot of you, I actually thought that I couldn't live off of music, especially playing death metal. So I figured it was taking way too much time and I was way too invested in the band. And I needed to spend more of my time and my energy studying and working on my job. Because we all need money, right? And after that frustration, I actually decided to give it up as a career. And having no drive to perform or write new music actually put me in a rut, and I stopped playing guitar altogether. I was working at Sam Ash, so that didn't help, because I was surrounded by guitars 24/7, or almost. And yeah, of course, it's a great gig, but when you have so many responsibilities, deadlines, inventory, sale goals, I started to see the guitar more as a problem than as an instrument. So anyway, after a couple of years, in 2010, I was actually invited to tour Mexico with one of my teenage favorite bands ever, as the lead guitar player for that band. So of course, I took it and I ran with it. And after playing 13 cities, I realized this is what I wanted to do the rest of my life. At the same time, one of my co-workers was actually the drummer of Thrash or Die, and he asked me to fill in for his guitar player because they needed to kick that guy out. But they had already booked their CD release show at the Culture Room, and that's a big deal. And of course, they were headlining. So I did my best to learn all 13 songs in about 2 weeks. And I did, and we played the show. And after the show, they asked me to stay. So that got the juices flowing. But after a while, even though it was a lot of fun playing for Thrash or Die, I really wanted to play my own stuff. So I decided to put the band together. At that time, I was already living in Argentina, so I found a drummer and a bassist, and we started playing as a three-piece. But I had to come up with a new name, because Serpenthorn is actually way too close, very similar to Serpentor, which is actually an established band in Argentina. So after trying a lot of different names out, I decided to name it Excelsis Tenebrae, which is actually Old Latin, and in Old Latin language is actually pronounced Excelsis Tenebrae. But in New Latin, the A is silent, so it becomes Excelsis Tenebrae. And I think that name really embodies the true spirit of the band. Now let me explain it to you. Excelsis, or Excelsior, means of the highest form, the most sacred, the biggest, the most grandiose. And Tenebrae means darkness. So it basically means that the most important thing, the biggest part of everything, is the darkness. Now, this name doesn't actually mean darkness as in lack or absence of light. It's actually meant in the philosophical way of lack of knowledge, which means that the biggest, the most grandiose part of everything is that which we don't know yet. If you look at the old cartography maps, you would see that everything that we already knew, everything that was discovered, it's there in plain sight. But everything we didn't know, everything we haven't discovered yet, was all painted black. was darkness. And that's what the name means. Keep in mind, when I first started this band, when it was called Chalice of Mist, my goal was to push myself as far as I could, as far as playing and as far as learning music. Because I knew that what I actually do was nothing in compared to the darkness, to the things I didn't know yet. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool name, isn't it? And this guy here was actually released October 6, 2017. And I know that date because I actually released it on my birthday. It was actually in my bucket list that I needed to release an album before I turned 30. And I turned 30 on that day, so I really pushed it there. But yeah, thanks to this bad boy, I was actually able to tour USA twice and to play a lot of shows in Argentina and open up for a lot of bands. Right now, the band has actually become kind of a solo project because I write all of the songs, all of the lyrics, all of the music, and I hire session drummers to record or to play live. Now, my drummer for the USA tours is actually my original drummer from back in 2004. We actually went to high school together and stuff, and we've known each other ever since, so we can play these songs just on muscle memory alone. In fact, on the last tour, we didn't even rehearse once before we played. We just got there and we played the first show, and I think that's awesome. Very gutsy. It could have gone better, but all in all, it came out really good. Okay guys, so I think that's a pretty good intro to Excelsis Tenebrae and all the things that we're going to cover in this series. I really hope you guys enjoy this content. Drop me a like if you think you will. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below with any questions you may have about the band so that I can answer them in some of these videos, and any ideas you may have for Excelsis Tenebrae content. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel like a man. And if you want to become a part of the team and help the channel out, what are you waiting for? Hit that join button down there. I will see you guys next time. Pat out. Metal on, dudes.